Okay, it says live. I believe.
Awesome.
Hello, Miss Corey. I
Well,
believe you are.
hello, Eleanor. We love
Okay.
technology, don't we?
Uh-huh. Happy, what is this? Happy National Gratitude Day. All around. It's national
I love
and
it.
also worldwide.
Yes, I love it. And just really big kudos to you and Merc Resource for doing this gratitude series. It is so needed, particularly in these days and times. So congratulations to you.
Yeah, especially after we've been shut off for so long.
Oh yes.
Mhm. I thought, this is a new technology for me. So this
Yes.
is my first time doing it. I'm looking around for the comments so that you can see them on screen, but I don't see them, and I'm afraid to mess with anything.
Let's just
Uh,
go for it.
so let's just start talking.
Yes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Merc Resource Monthly Gratitude Conversation. And tonight's conversation is very special because, as I said earlier, it's National Gratitude, Worldwide Gratitude Day. And there's a lot of things going on throughout the country on this gratitude day. And we've done some things all week. So, because this is such a special conversation, I am thrilled to invite in this conversation tonight Miss Corey Cotton, JD, founder and creator of A Woman Evolved,
Mhm,
LLC, and
mhm.
just so many other things. I'm going to welcome you, Corey, again, and I want you to talk a little bit about yourself before we get started.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I am just simply delighted to be here. And what can I say? Well, I'm an attorney, I'm a vocal coach, I'm a Grammy winning artist. To sum it up, I like to say I don't do boxes. I have the great fortune of being the CEO and founder of A Woman Evolves LLC. And I like to say it's an organization by women for women, and we're helping them to step into their power and live their best lives and be their true selves along both their professional and personal journey. So we do lots of programming, entertainment, and such that are all geared toward the empowerment of women.
And that is so important for what you're doing, and I think it's important as we talk about gratitude and share, because one thing, not only what you are doing and how it fit, but one of the things wanted to talk about
Mhm.
is gratitude in the corporate world. Ford did a thing on about gratitude during the pandemic and how important it is to share with the workforce. So I know you've been in the corporate world for so long. If you want to could share a little bit about that with your views on that.
Absolutely. I think this is a subject that's very dear and near to my heart because I was in corporate America for over 20 years and in one particular Fortune 100 financial services company for 19 plus years and have been in senior leadership for much of that time, of my time in corporate America. So I think that gratitude in the corporate environment is hugely important. If I could just back up a little bit, I think of gratitude as being the art or the act of being thankful or having some readiness to show appreciation for kindness and actually reciprocating and returning that kindness. And I'm pretty sure that those folks in your listening audience who are in corporate America can really appreciate how important it is to have that kind of culture in the corporate realm. And just a little bit on that, I think when we talk about gratitude in corporate, it's really a partnership. It's a two-way street. It's not just the leadership within the organization, but it's also the employees that comprise the organization and showing gratitude within and across leadership and within and across the employees and then across each group. That's hugely important. When you do have demonstrated gratitude in the corporate culture, that's when you have a real win-win situation because you have employees who feel invested in the organization, in the growth and development of the organization and the success of the organization. And then you have them feeling like that they're appreciated and valued for the unique contributions that they bring to the organization. And of course, for the organization, it's a great situation because they're worried about retention. And you don't retain people unless you show them value. So that's why gratitude is very, very important in the corporate realm.
Yeah, and I love it what you said in terms of like the value
Yeah,
of a person, because I don't think sometimes we connect gratitude with value, and that's value is a big part, but gratitude is a smart part of in adding that to the ingredients, because sometimes just a thank you, and what you said earlier, appreciating
yeah,
people, because you say you're working, you're getting the salary, what is there to appreciate? But
that's right.
no, I think that's really great.
You're,
uh,
you're spot on because the thank you goes a long, long way. I can remember when I had a global team all across the country, the United States, and then across different other countries outside of the United States. And I would have people consistently tell me on my team, I'm feeling really stressed out, or I'm feeling this way, or I don't like the way that a client spoke to me. But because I believe in your vision and because you're always pouring into us, I'm going to do this for you because I believe in the vision. And that's what it is. It's not placing value in a sense of how much you think someone is worth to you,
there you
but
go.
it's appreciating the unique strengths within each individual because we know that leadership cannot get the job done without the team. So it's really showing team, listen, I value you, not I place a dollar uh, quote unquote value on you,
Mhm,
but I
mhm.
value you because of what you do and who you are and your unique skill sets that you bring to the team.
Yes, absolutely. And that's a very important part of that, because sometimes people say, well, you got a job, you're getting a paycheck. What else do you want? And I don't feel that it's necessary to say thank you. You're here to work. But when
That
you're
couldn't be
in
further
the
from the truth. It really couldn't. This is a
yeah,
competitive environment here.
yeah,
And contrary to what some people say, don't believe the hype, folks. We think, oh, that a job is hard to come by. But good team members, good employees are a great, great commodity. And they are in search of the right culture to bring their skill sets to. And you might think that, you should be appreciative to be an X company or Y company, but no, people have a choice, and you'd be surprised, particularly with the younger generation. A lot of people will give money away for
yeah,
being in the right
right.
culture
Hmm.
where they feel appreciated.
Appreciated.
And so
Yes.
that's one of the reasons I love that you're talking about gratitude. And that shows up in so many ways. For instance, well, we talked about having an inclusive culture.
Yeah.
That's certainly one way. But just meeting people where they are. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in templatizing things, even
Mhm.
something as simple as recognition. But you
Yes.
really can't. Not everybody wants to be recognized the same way,
Right.
right? And
Right.
so it's when you go above and beyond for your employees, right?
Yeah.
And you show them that I understand who you are and what resonates with you. And then you begin to recognize them in that way. They feel appreciated. That's just another way of saying thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate you and I value you.
Yes, I see here we have another leader on that says it's so important to value, your team, and to recognize them. And um, yeah, so some people are listening and agreeing with you,
Yeah.
what you're saying. And I have heard over and over again from people who they're doing a good job, and they really bring a lot to their organization, but
Mhm.
they never feel noticed. They just do the job, and nobody ever
They
says
don't feel seen.
anything.
They don't feel seen. And one of
Yeah.
the things
Mhm.
that,
I
just
like
because
that, feel
they
seen.
don't feel seen or heard. One of the things that if we just stop and think about how much this makes sense, and I've seen this and lived it personally through my
Mhm.
own professional trajectory, but we spend in corporate America so much time, so much resource on showing people where their gaps are, what they're not doing right.
Doing, yeah,
No matter how much they're doing, we're showing them how they can do better.
better.
And we're not showing them what they're doing well. And so
Yeah.
people start to focus, and then when they really start to
Mhm.
believe all of the what I'm not doing well,
Yeah.
sometimes not even recognizing that the part that I'm not doing well is not even essential to the function that I have, you know, at work. And so it's super important if we want to retain good team members, we
Mhm.
have to appreciate their
Mhm.
relevant strengths and not build their whole trajectory around what their gaps are.
Yeah, sorry. That's a very, I'm going to have to use that, the
Yeah.
gaps, that, and it's so easy for us to flow to the gaps rather than the other
Yeah.
part. We're getting some comments of, like somebody is true, and
Yeah.
I'm glad to see the comments coming in that's agreeing
Mhm.
with you that you're spot on in terms of what you're saying. But we're talking about that, and that gap's like, I'm getting a lot of stuff here I'm going to be using because you know me,
Yeah.
I have no
Yes. Feel
problem
free.
with that.
Feel free.
But
We've all lived this, so we
yeah,
if we just share our experiences, we'll come to the same conclusions. It's just like I said, just because you're in management doesn't mean that you really know how to manage. And sometimes, particularly in this fast-paced environment, we don't slow down. We don't think about building a team. It's just like building relationships. And when
yeah,
we build relationships, you talk about people who've had relationships for 30, 40 years. That was cultivated. That was me learning Eleanor Murphy and what appeals to her. I love that, we all think of, treat others like you want to be treated. I like to say, treat others the way they want to
want
be
to be
treated,
treated.
right? Because we're all unique individuals. And when
Yeah,
we learn to do that, we send the message that we appreciate, that we value, that we're grateful for you.
absolutely. And I started in the workplace because we never really talk about, gratitude and in the workplace. And when I saw the Forbes article, that's when I asked you because I know, your leadership with teams and
Yeah.
stuff. But
Mhm.
from the corporate to our individual lives to our family life. So I want to net those three forms.
Oh,
We talked about work, and
yeah.
and that's very important because that sustains us.
Sure.
But in terms of our personal and in terms of our family, want to hear your comments. But before we go there, there's another one. With the women, with a woman evolves, you work a lot with women in all kinds of ways. And I
Yeah.
wanted you to talk a little bit about what you do and the ingredients of gratitude in
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Well, a couple things, and thank you for the opportunity. A couple of things, something that my mom, Dr. Jane Cotton, always says is that you are the most important person that you will ever meet. You know,
Mhm.
everything that you are to be and everything that you need starts and ends with you. And of course, it's assumed that there is a divinity associated with that. And so I start with that because, historically and culturally, women are putting themselves last, right? We feel like it's selfish to focus on ourselves, that we're supposed to take care of the boss and the team and the colleagues and the children and the spouse and everybody else you can think of in the community. And then, right when you don't have any strength or any energy left, then you think about yourself.
Yes.
And there's something fundamentally wrong with that, because if you don't have yourself together, how can you be of true value to any one of those partners that I just
Right.
mentioned? How can you do it? And so one of the things that I teach in a program that I call the Empowered Woman's Masterclass, it's giving the women permission to focus on themselves as a foundation and really know, I like to say, stir up the gifts that are
Okay.
within you. And you can't stir them up if you don't know who you are and you don't know what your gifts are. So we are teaching people how to uh, tune into their passions, because like, you'd be surprised how many people don't know really what their passion
Exactly.
is. They just are existing from day to day. Not everybody, but some folks. So we're teaching women how to tune into their passions, how to identify not just strengths, not just what you're good at, but your relevant strengths, how to understand and acknowledge the power of perception, and how to create the perfect alignment of passion, strength, and whatever your needs are in the environment that you're in, whether you're in corporate, government, nonprofit, whatever, because that is when you are at your optimal best, when you have the perfect alignment of self passion, strength, and environmental need. And that's what the empowerment program is about, the Empowered Woman's Masterclass.
Mhm. And with that, I guess gratitude will naturally become a part and an ingredient
It's absolutely
in
a
that.
part of that. And the reason that it
Mhm.
is because your strengths and your vision, those are gifts. They are divinely inspired gifts. And the way that you show gratitude to the Father for giving you them, and gratitude to yourself for being the vehicle to house those gifts, is to stir them up, is to take accountability for it and to prepare yourself toward your trajectory. That's how you show gratitude for your gifts.
Yes, and for yourself, Dr. Utmans out there at the University of California, Davis, talks about gratitude in terms of our health, mental health, including our physical health and
Yeah.
our personal relationships.
Yeah,
And you think about gratitude in those terms, and it is so simple an act because sometimes we're reaching for something huge as it relates to gratitude, and it is just a simple thank you, a recognition, a nod, of the head and stuff, and moving that down into organizations. And I know you deal also with people with personal family, issues. We look at the external, but if you can touch on a little bit of how gratitude really should be a part of what we do in our day-to-day life with our family.
absolutely, absolutely. And just as a precursor to that, I don't want it to get past people that the understanding that gratitude is definitely saying thank you and being appreciative and showing
Right.
kindness and all of those good things. But gratitude has to start internally. So
Yes.
you have to, if you, for those of us, who have those mind trips where we don't want to focus on ourselves because we feel selfish, think about it in the spirit of gratitude. You're grateful for the gifts that the good Lord has given you. And so you show that gratitude to the Father and inwardly to yourself by being responsible and accountable for those gifts and learning how to develop them. Because that's going to be truly important to your next question in how you express gratitude within the family. If we are living fragmented and we haven't really said thank you to ourselves, we
Thank you.
haven't really fully accepted who we are, it's going to be really hard to authentically show gratitude toward members of our family, and that's family, whether it's biological or extended.
And
So
yeah,
it's real. So gratitude kind of underlies it. And we talk a lot about what you learn at home is what you take with you, so it
yeah,
extends
yes,
to your work environment. So it's that
yeah,
same spread of appreciation, of reciprocity, of gratitude, of thank you, of accountability. All of those things are those same threads that you use to build those relationships within the family as well as within the work
yes. Yes, and it's so important because as we see ourselves last, we also see our family as last. And I dare to say there are people in a household that just walk past each other. And I wonder, I wonder how many people even say good morning when they see someone in their home.
That's true. That's true. And then you also hear about situations where people haven't spoken to a parent, to a sibling
Oh,
in over X number of years because we're holding on to whatever it is that hurt. They say hurt people,
yes, that's I
kind of
believe so.
thing. But again, I take it right back to standing on gratitude first
Yes.
within.
Mm.
And then that helps you to empathize with someone that you felt maybe who has wronged you, or like you were saying, putting family last
Yeah.
because we don't feel like they're important. And sometimes we take for granted, because this is
Yes.
family, that they'll take a little bit of extra from us. But you got to start at home, and home doesn't mean within the household. It means within your circle,
Mm-hmm.
of love. And that could be biological or not biological. So you
Right.
practice, being gracious and
Yeah.
saying thank you and being accountable for your part in the relationship and that kind of thing. And I would also extend it one other place too, as a part of that kind of family, because I love to talk about professional board of directors, which also
Yeah.
becomes your family,
Family. Yes.
mentors and sponsors. And we have to be really careful about mentors because sometimes we position ourselves as empty vessels and we just show up into the mentorship waiting for people to
Somebody
pour
to.
into us.
Yes.
But
Yes.
you have to be grateful and show gratitude for someone who's taking part of their experience and
Mhm.
pouring into you. So therefore you show up not just as an empty vessel and
Yeah.
not just like taking accountability for, the agenda or
Mm.
however often that you meet, but also giving back to that mentor, right?
Yeah.
Finding those things that are important to that mentor and showing your gratitude by giving back to him or
Yeah.
her. That's very important.
Yes. Yes, it is. And another area I want to touch on tonight with talking about gratitude is just the simple everyday things that we do. Like
Yeah,
we're just thank you when you wake up in the morning.
yeah,
Being aware of your environment, and I always like to think of our five senses in terms of gratitude. You can get started there and stay for awful
that's so
long,
true.
long time.
That's so true. And
That's
and I want to say one other thing too, because this transcend. I mean, this kind of goes across not just family and personal, but everything you do. Think about simple communications, particularly in this fast-paced environment that we were talking about. Whether you're sending an email to someone at work, whether you're sending an email or to someone in your family or a friend, slow down, because there have been a
Slow
lot of
down.
relationships lost because of a misinterpreted
Yeah.
email. Slow down. Little simple things like that. Stop and smell the roses for a second.
Yes. Yes.
Look at that communication and think in the other person, consider the audience,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Think in the other
Absolutely.
person's shoes. Would the person receive this communication
Mhm.
the way that I intended? That is a form of gratitude because you're showing appreciation for the relationship that
Yes.
you're trying to develop.
Yes. We got a little team here on the, in our chat. Miss Russell. Who's saying yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
To you. And I love it. You got Beatrice Pack. We have our Deborah Brown and Wanda Davis, our old buddies. And
Hey there, Deborah or
yeah,
Wanda.
yes, indeed. As we talked about this, I wanted to move a little bit over because I don't want to leave this live broadcast without people knowing what you are doing. I was with you a couple of weeks ago with the release of your biopic, and
Yeah.
I tell you, every once in a while I stop and have to do a little bit because it was such a wonderful gathering. And I selected you, and I'm going to give you time to talk about that, talk about your biopic and
Sure.
what AWE is doing. But I selected you tonight because you are the quintessential example of gratitude and grace.
Oh,
With all the people around you. I see Deborah Brown is on, and
yeah.
Wanda. I mean, just how you just show your love and grace to the people, not only in your circle but the expanded circle. So, just share a little bit about the AWE, what it is, and
Yeah.
this fantastic biopic from
Oh,
those
well, thank you so
first.
much. And speaking of gratitude, I would be simply remiss if I did not say thank you. I don't feel like I can say it enough, really, to you, because a woman evolves before it was an entity. You know, it was a story. It was a story about my own journey of embracing all of me, of showing gratitude toward myself, or not feeling like I had to choose between one career, law, or another career, music, and realizing that I had to find my own rainbow. And once I could find that rainbow, I could go way beyond it. So the narrative is not just about music and law, it's about all the gifts that he has given. And you were the first one to allow me to put on that one woman show that talked about those things at the College of Lake County. So thank you for that. But the event that you're alluding to was it's not just about the biopic. It was about a women's empowerment extravaganza, an entire 2-day weekend
Yes, it
to
was.
give women permission and men supporting empowered women as
Yes,
well
yes,
permission to focus on yourself, to put all of your cares and your worries away and come to be pampered, come and be loved on, come and be a
yes.
part of sisters investing in sisters, or sis, as I
Sis,
like to
yes.
call it.
Uh-huh.
And it was just an amazing time. We had an incredible session. St. John Boutique in Charlotte
Mhm.
had a private reception for us. And oh, like you say, it just turned into a party. And then, of course, at the historic Mint Museum in Charlotte, we had just fine dining, red carpet, attention on
Yes.
the women, men catering to women. Don't we all love that,
How
right?
about that? And we did
Somebody
have that.
catering to us, somebody, right? And then showing, like you said, the release of my long-awaited biopic, which really grew out of the one woman show. And due to COVID, we weren't going to stop because I told you I don't live in boxes. And
Yeah.
we showed that story, which I say is my story, but it's every woman's journey getting to her rainbow and then going over that thing. So
Hmm.
we had a wonderful, wonderful time. And what it reminds me of is something that I tell people, and I want to say before we leave this broadcast, is one of the greatest ways that we can all share and show gratitude is to remember the foundation of our ancestors and loved ones and teachers and mentors that you're standing on, and reach back
Back.
and get somebody else, pull them forward and
Mhm.
make them a better leader than you are today. And I think that's the ultimate form of gratitude. And
Absolutely.
that's
And I
what I tried to do with the We event.
absolutely. And you're so correct to be grateful for those shoulders and rivers that we've crossed
Yeah,
that made the path for
yeah,
us to cross over. And
absolutely.
I am so happy to see we have, Miss Russell all the way from Texas on.
Hey,
We
Miss
have people
Russell.
from Michigan
Hey,
on,
Michigan,
and yeah, Minnesota, and our
Minnesota.
same old team. We have a posse, I call them,
I love it.
made up of Wanda Davis, Deborah Brown, Kim Geiger, Evans, myself. I call it the old Trinity team,
Oh,
and
Trent.
I
Carlova Adams
I
Powell might
see
be out there
Carlover on
somewhere.
there, and we have Mary. I saw Mary Moore at one point on. So, I always feel like talking to our team and
Yeah,
adding people to the team,
yeah,
and like BPAC, we couple of years, three, maybe what is probably 4 years now, but still, hanging in there, part of it.
fantastic,
So
fantastic.
yeah, so um, I think in everything we're doing, in terms of building and our health, our mental, physical health, relationships, gratitude touches every part of that.
Yeah,
And as we end this broadcast, I want to thank everybody who came on live with us tonight. But as you go out, and right now, I would like everyone to just give one thing that they are grateful for. Could be a word. You can put a sentence down, or you can just put a word that will tell us about it. And I want you to stay with Merck Resource Facebook page. We have a blog tomorrow, but we will be giving away a journal on Friday, a gratitude 21-day gratitude journal where we're helping you. Because sometimes we just write a lot of stuff, but we have a getting started gratitude journal to give away.
Fantastic.
Chloe, I am just so thankful that you took this time to share with us. And sometimes when you're close to somebody and been with them for a long time, you don't realize their skill set and the power that you bring to the table. I'm still trying to see this little girl at Howard University. And when you say 19
Thank
years in
you.
corporate, wow.
Well, I'm grateful for you. You are definitely in my circle. You are certainly one of my personal and professional board of director members, and I am grateful. I am grateful to who you have been to me as well as to my family and who you are in the community. So I'm grateful for you, and I'm celebrating you even on this call while you're trying to celebrate me.
Okay. Well, thank you. And people continue to show your gratitude to yourself,
Yes,
to the people that are close to you, and just in everyday living.
yes,
Living. I'm looking here. Some of the people B has love. Carloba says family. Um, the wisdom of the ancestors is another. I don't know why I told people to put it in here. I can't read unless I'm up in the
I want to throw in vision. I want to be
vision.
grateful, gratitude for vision as well.
Yes, man, we have to come back and do on the Merck resource side about vision. I tell
Yes,
people, you are a big vision board person, and
yes,
there is nothing that you have put on your vision board that has not come to pass. So
absolutely
we need to
correct.
come back to it. So,
Dream it, see it, write it, speak it, and manifest it. That's what I can say.
would you say it again?
Dream it, see it, write it, speak it, and manifest it.
Manifest 5 points. We'll hey folks, we'll do a live or a workshop on that. That's
Yes,
very
absolutely.
important. So stay true to yourself, loving yourselves, giving thanks for all parts of you. Sometimes I just think all my organs, tissues, everything. Spend
Yeah,
some time doing that.
I
So
love
thank you very, very much for joining us. Hey, all my Facebook friends, thank you for joining us,
yes,
and see you next time. I sort of like this. I have to try live again.
yes.
Yes. So thank you. You have any final word?
Be empowered.
Be empowered. Okay, folks. Thank you so much. Mary Moore says family journey. Let me see. I can't even read with one. Let me see. Attitude is my gratitude. I am grateful. That's
Yeah,
Wanda Davis.
I love that.
Um, Dream it. Oh, Effie saying she love it. Your
I love that.
thing. And then
Yeah,
excellence. Yes, yes. I'm glad. Effie's like a 24-hour worker, so I'm glad she
oh
took
yeah.
time
Oh
to
yeah.
join us tonight. So, all right. Good night, folks. Have a good one. Thank you,
Good
Chloe.
night. Good night, everyone.
Okay, bye bye.